Have you ever noticed that when someone leaves you, it doesn't just feel like they walked out of your life? It feels like they took a part of you with them. You try to act normal. You check your phone again and again. You read old messages. You replay the last conversation in your mind. You ask yourself, was it my fault? Did I love too much? Was I not enough? And the most painful part is this: the world keeps moving, but inside you, everything feels stuck. But listen carefully. Your heart is not hurting because you are weak. Your heart is hurting because your mind, your emotions, and your memories are fighting a war you never prepared for. And by the end of this video, you will understand why their leaving hurts so deeply, why you can't stop thinking about them, and why this pain may actually be trying to teach you something about yourself. So if someone left you, or if you are afraid someone will leave you, this video is for you. When someone leaves you, the first feeling is usually confusion, not anger, not even sadness. Confusion, because your brain does not understand how someone who once made you feel safe can suddenly become the reason you feel broken. One day they were your comfort. Their message made you smile. Their voice made your day better. Their attention made you feel chosen. And then suddenly that same person becomes silent, distant, cold, different. And you start asking questions that have no clear answer. Why did they change? Why did they promise forever if they were going to leave? Did they ever really care? Was I just an option? And here is the first truth you need to hear. Sometimes the pain is not only because you lost the person. Sometimes the pain is because you lost the version of yourself you became with them. You were happier with them, softer with them, more hopeful with them. Maybe you were planning a future. Maybe you imagined memories that never happened. Maybe you trusted them with parts of your heart you never showed anyone else. So when they leave, you are not only missing them, you are missing the future you created in your mind. And that is why it hurts so much. Because your heart is not just grieving the person, it is grieving the dream. But wait, there is another reason this pain feels so personal. When someone leaves you, your brain starts treating their absence like rejection. And rejection does something dangerous. It makes you question your worth. You don't simply think, they left. You start thinking, they left me? And that one word, me, changes everything. Suddenly it becomes about your face, your body, your personality, your success, your mistakes, your way of loving. You start searching for flaws inside yourself, as if finding one flaw will explain why they walked away. But you need to understand this clearly. Someone leaving you does not automatically mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes people leave because they are confused. Sometimes they leave because they are immature. Sometimes they leave because they wanted love but not responsibility. Sometimes they leave because they liked the feeling of being loved, but they were not ready to give love back properly. And sometimes, painful as it sounds, people leave because they were never meant to stay. But your mind does not accept this easily. Your mind wants a reason. Your heart wants closure. Your ego wants justice. And your soul wants peace. That is why after someone leaves, you may feel like you are going crazy. You are not crazy. You are emotionally attached. And emotional attachment is powerful. Think about it. When you talk to someone every day, share your thoughts with them, wait for their messages, tell them your problems, laugh with them, dream with them, your brain builds a routine around them. They become part of your daily life. So when they leave, your brain does not just lose a person, it loses a habit. That is why mornings feel empty, nights feel heavy, songs feel personal, places remind you of them. Even small things hurt you because your mind connects everything back to them. You may tell yourself, I don't care anymore, but then one notification sound makes your heart jump. Why? Because some part of you is still waiting. And this is where many people make the mistake. They think missing someone means they should go back. But missing someone does not always mean they are right for you. Sometimes you miss the comfort, not the person. Sometimes you miss the attention, not the relationship. Sometimes you miss the old version of them, not who they became. And here is a painful question you need to ask yourself. Do you miss them? Or do you miss how they made you feel in the beginning? Because those are not always the same thing. In the beginning, they may have made you feel special. They replied fast. They gave effort. They listened. They showed interest. They made you believe you mattered. But later, maybe they changed. Maybe they became distant. Maybe they stopped trying. Maybe you started begging for the same energy they once gave freely. And if that happened, then your heart is not only broken because they left. Your heart is broken because you stayed too long waiting for the old them to come back. That is one of the deepest pains in love, loving someone's memory more than their reality. You keep remembering who they were at the start while ignoring who they became at the end. And maybe this is why you still feel stuck, because your heart is holding the beautiful beginning, while your mind is trying to survive the painful ending. But let me tell you something very important. The person who leaves you does not always destroy you. Sometimes they reveal how much you abandoned yourself while trying to keep them. Maybe you stopped focusing on your goals. Maybe you ignored your friends. Maybe you accepted less than you deserved. Maybe you kept forgiving things that were hurting you. Maybe you stayed silent just to avoid losing them. And now that they are gone, the silence feels unbearable because you are finally alone with yourself again. That is why heartbreak hurts. It forces you to meet the parts of yourself you were avoiding. It shows you your attachment, your fear, your insecurity, your need for validation, your fear of being alone. And yes, that feels painful, but it is also powerful because the moment you understand your pain, you stop being controlled by it. Now listen carefully because this part may hit you hard. Sometimes the person leaving hurts so deeply because they became your proof that you were lovable. Their attention made you feel valuable. Their love made you feel chosen. Their presence made you feel enough. So when they leave, it feels like your value leaves with them. But your value was never inside their hands. They did not create your worth. They only noticed it for a while. And if they stopped noticing it, that does not mean it disappeared. You are still worthy when someone stops texting. You are still worthy when someone chooses someone else. You are still worthy when someone cannot love you correctly. You are still worthy when someone leaves without explaining. Their inability to stay does not define your ability to be loved, but healing will not happen if you keep reopening the wound. And be honest with yourself. Maybe you are doing that. Maybe you keep checking their profile. Maybe you keep reading old chats. Maybe you keep asking mutual friends about them. Maybe you keep imagining them coming back and saying, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake." And maybe one part of you does not want to heal because healing feels like accepting that it is really over. That is the hidden truth. Sometimes we keep the pain alive because it keeps us connected to the person. Because if we stop hurting, it feels like we are letting them go. And if we let them go, it feels like everything meant nothing. But that is not true. Letting go does not mean the memories were fake. It means you are no longer willing to bleed for them every day. You can accept that someone mattered without allowing them to control your present. You can love what happened and still admit it ended. You can miss someone and still choose not to return to the same pain. That is maturity. But now you may ask, then why do I still want them back even after they hurt me? Because your heart remembers the good moments louder than the bad ones. When you are lonely, your mind edits the story. It shows you their smile, their sweet words, the good days, the moments when everything felt perfect. But it hides the nights you cried. It hides the times you felt ignored. It hides the disrespect, the confusion, the waiting, the overthinking, the way you lost yourself. So before you say, "I want them back," ask yourself, do I want the full person back or only the good parts I keep replaying? Because love is not only about beautiful memories. Love is about consistency, respect, care, honesty, effort, and peace. If someone gave you love but also gave you constant anxiety, that was not peace. If someone made you feel special one day and worthless the next, that was not stability. If someone made you beg for basic respect, that was not healthy love. And maybe the pain you are feeling right now is not proof that you lost the right person. Maybe it is proof that you were attached to the wrong one. That is hard to accept, but sometimes truth hurts before it heals. Now, I want you to think about something. Before they came into your life, you existed. You laughed. You had dreams. You had a personality. You had a life. Maybe it was not perfect, but you were still you. Then they came, and slowly they became the center. Their mood affected your mood. Their reply affected your confidence. Their attention affected your happiness. And now they are gone, and you feel like you don't know who you are anymore. But this is not the end of you. This is the return of you. Yes, it feels lonely at first. Yes, it feels heavy. Yes, some nights will be hard. You may cry. You may miss them. You may feel weak. But every day you choose not to chase someone who left you, you rebuild your self-respect. Every day you choose not to beg for love, you become stronger. Every day you choose yourself, even when your heart wants them. You teach your soul that you are not someone to be abandoned and forgotten. You are someone to be valued. And here is something no one tells you about heartbreak. The person who leaves often becomes powerful in your mind because they are unavailable. Their silence creates mystery. Their distance creates obsession. Their absence makes them seem more important than they actually are. But if you saw them clearly, without attachment, without hope, without fear, you might realize they were just a person. A person with flaws, a person who made choices. A person who could not give you what you needed. Not a god, not your destiny, not your entire life. Just a person. And the day you understand that, the spell starts breaking. You stop asking, why didn't they choose me? And you start asking, why did I keep choosing someone who made me feel unwanted? That question changes everything, because now the focus moves from them to you. And healing begins when you stop trying to understand why they left and start understanding why you tolerated so much pain. Maybe you were afraid of being alone. Maybe you thought love means suffering. Maybe you believed if you tried harder they would change. Maybe you confuse attachment with love. But real love should not make you lose your dignity. Real love does not require you to chase, beg, prove, or compete. Real love feels safe. Even during problems, it does not make you feel disposable. So if they left you and now you feel broken, please hear this. Your pain is real, but it is not permanent. Right now your heart is adjusting to absence. Your mind is detoxing from attachment. Your emotions are trying to understand what happened. That takes time. Do not force yourself to be okay in one day, but also do not build a home inside your sadness. Feel it. Understand it. Cry if you need to, but do not let one person's departure become the reason you stop believing in yourself. Because one day you will look back and realize something powerful. You were not losing love. You were being removed from a place where your love was not being handled with care. And maybe the person leaving was not a punishment. Maybe it was protection. Maybe life saw what you could not see because your heart was too attached. Maybe their leaving created space for your growth, your peace, your confidence, and your real future. But for that future to arrive, you must stop standing at the closed door. Because some doors do not close to hurt you. They close because you kept trying to enter a place that was no longer meant for you. So what should you do now? Start small. Stop checking their profile. Not because you hate them, but because you love your peace. Stop reading old messages. Not because the memories mean nothing, but because your heart needs rest. Stop blaming yourself for everything. Not every ending is your fault. Stop waiting for closure from someone who created confusion. Sometimes closure is the decision you make when they refuse to explain. And most importantly, stop thinking that being left means being unlovable. You are not hard to love just because one person failed to love you properly. You are not worthless because someone walked away. You are not weak because you miss them. You are human, and humans attach. Humans hope. Humans break. Humans heal. One day the song will not hurt the same. The place will not feel heavy. Their name will not shake your heart. The memory will come, but it will not control you. And when that day comes, you will understand why you had to survive this. Because heartbreak does not only show you who left, it shows you who stayed. And the person who must stay with you forever is you. So don't abandon yourself just because someone else did. Pick yourself up slowly. Rebuild your life quietly. Become someone who does not beg to be chosen because you already choose yourself. And remember this line. Your heart hurts when they leave, not because you cannot live without them, but because you forgot for a while that you were whole before them. And you will be whole after them too. Maybe not today, maybe not tonight, but slowly, day by day, you will return to yourself. And when you do, you will not be the same person they left. You will be wiser, stronger, calmer, deeper. And one day, someone's leaving will no longer destroy you because you will know that your worth does not depend on who stays. So if they left, let them go. Not because it is easy, but because you deserve a love that does not make you question whether you are enough.